We are just shy of the 5-mile post, right up yonder, just before the C9 bridge that crosses the Esopus Creek. We are looking westbound right now, at the site of the Trailways bus garage. And here we are looking eastbound. That is the New York State Thruway overpass, and we are heading eastbound in this view. That is right there, the crossing of the Ulster and Delaware where we just were. This is the New York, Ontario and Western O&W. It is now a walking trail. They both go underneath the New York State Thruway here in HURLEY. That is looking toward Kingston, toward the city of Kingston, where the O&W had a huge yard, coinciding with the Ulster and Delaware. This is southbound or westbound, back down toward HURLEY and down through the valley, eventually ending up in Ellenville and I believe Wurtsboro. O&W. Every now and then you come across an old telegraph pole on the old U&D. And we are still continuing east toward Kingston. The Ulster and Delaware and the Ontario and Western parallel each other here just before the O&W Kingston yard. That is the O&W Trail, former New York, Ontario and Western Railroad. And coming up here, we have several examples on the line of existing telegraph poles. Here's a really nice one. Right there. And coming up, we had a crossover track where the O&W and the U&D interchanged just before the U&D's Fair Street. My finger will trace, this time of year it's rough with the foliage coming out, but my finger is tracing the rough railroad bed crossover track between the O&W and U&D. Westbound U&D. Eastbound O&W. I'm about 50 or 60 feet apart. Right there was a switch on the O&W. that led across this, and it had a spur onto the U&D. That's that berm right there. I'm walking right now toward the former Fair Street station on the U&D and the O&W yard. And right here was the switch on the U&D side of things. Right there. Let's go see if we can stand on it. Mid-spring here, early spring, but we are standing right on it right now. Very hard to tell with the vegetation, but yes, there was a crossover, U&D to O&W and O&W to U&D. Right here by the Best Western Motel, Washington Ave, City of Kingston. Okay, I crossed over from the U&D onto the O&W. I'm going westbound or southbound now, away from the Kingston yard. See if I can get us back to where the crossover was and film it from the O&W side. Okay, just over there on the U&D, and it comes along here. You can kind of see the berm right there, and it goes off that way and hooks into the O&W down here. So the O&W had a symbiotic relationship here in Kingston, here in the city. Oh, here's a good spot to maybe see it. Right here. Right there. They were two competing railroads that learned to play in the same sandbox together, I guess you'd say. Here's a really good spot. Here it is right here. Here it is right here. So O&W, southbound, westbound, and right here. Right here. This is probably, this time of year, the best time to see it. Right there. U&D, motel, O&W. 50 feet, 60 feet separates them. And here's where they played together. And I guess I would be remiss if I did not include a piece of the spoils of man, a tire. We are still heading east on the U&D. Now we approach the siding. It's now used for car storage for the Catskill Mountain Railroad. Very, very convenient to have here, right along Schwenk Drive in the city. First in line, we'll see work engine number 42. She's a mighty fine workhorse. Behind 42, we have a dump car. And we'll see a flat car with a container storage on it. Behind that, we have the work caboose. Next up is some MOW equipment. We have the tie crane. We have two tampers, one with a dump box. We have two box cars next up. I believe they're both former D&H. And lastly in line, the big hook, the big crane out of Bucyrus, Ohio. Now past this line of cars, we have here in the lower area, where Schwenk Drive is now, the site of the former O&W Kingston yard. This was a huge yard for the O&W, their terminus in Kingston. And up ahead there, where Mr. Finger is about to pop down out of the sky, don't get scared, was the former site of the Fair Street station for U&D. That was at milepost 4. It was destroyed in 1898. Well, I sure do hope you guys and gals out there in TV land really enjoyed this little short video on the Ulster and Delaware and the New York, Ontario and Western. How the O&W and the U&D played together, just like kids in a sandbox, right there in Kingston, many, many years ago. This video has been brought to you by DeSoto.